Welcome to Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. It is an all-star summer celebration weekend in Indianapolis with tens of thousands of visitors, some already here as the WNBA partners with Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration. Comes with some unique business opportunities, chance to show off the city to the world. We hope to help by providing you with timely information to inspire, inform, empower. We stick with 7 basic categories that entrepreneurs and small business owners have to deal with. Each segment designed to provide useful information about topics that business owners encounter at some point, maybe every week. We're here every Sunday on WISH-TV, streaming live on WISH-TV.com. We also post all of our segments on BE&O You'll also see past episodes, extra resources. We'll put a QR code up several times throughout the hour to take you straight there. Now, here's what's coming up today on Business Equity and Opportunity. Find out how millennials and Gen Z are connecting to the small business boom. Details on the All-Star Women's Business Leadership Experience. How to develop your company's personal branding. All the happenings at this year's IBE Summer Celebration. We go inside Ball State's award-winning Sports Link. And our success story features an organization helping fathers and families. We are getting started with Mattingly Concrete, a certified disabled-owned business enterprise and the July Vendor of the Month.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
I'm Will Mattingly, president of Mattingly Concrete, second generation owner and operator. We were established in 1987, incorporated in 1991, and continuing the legacy today. So my dad was a people person and still is very much. He started doing porches and sidewalk repairs for his neighbors, and that name grew in the neighborhood, and fast forward 35 years and here we are today, still doing a lot of that same work. We've since expanded into commercial and public works. Growing up in the business, if I wasn't in school, I was on the job site. More and more people are investing in amenities, you could say, at their homes or in their communities and their neighborhoods. So whether that's a splash pad at the park or a new pool in the backyard, a lot of these things incorporate concrete by nature, as well as new builds. So you see a lot of apartments and condominiums going up. All of those require concrete foundations and slabs, concrete to retain the parking lots and to get us in and out of the buildings safely. We were established doing primarily residential work for all those years and have more recently expanded into commercial and public workspace. I think it's a great initiative that the city's taking to involve disabled-owned businesses and what they do. Growing up with ADHD and different cognitive disabilities, if you will, was something that carries a little bit of a stigma. And I don't know if a lot of kids grow up the way I did, but you sometimes can get into a self-doubting mode. And the way the city has put this together, it allows businesses like ours to get in front of people more often and have those same opportunities that other city contractors have. So it's nice. This program here has been an immense help for us, and it seemed intimidating at first, but the people in the office here have been very kind, and persistence pays off. So coming in often and calling often to check on status of different deliverables that you've had to give them and things like that is always a good idea. And I think just being persistent is really what the key is there. It's seeing the looks on people's faces when they get to see the new work that's been installed, whether that's around a school or in a neighborhood or in somebody's backyard. That's really what makes it all worth it, and also enriching the lives of people that work in our company, and seeing their kids grow up, seeing second generations, sometimes even getting involved in our business is a great thing.
You'll find more information about the July Vendor of the Month on our website, BEOshow.com. What is driving younger generations to shop small? We share the results of a report on the topic. That's next.
We're looking at a beautiful summer day, so make sure to grab that sunscreen and stay cool. It's gonna be a hot one.
For the summer days, in all of us. Storm Track 8, presented by Hope Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. As we talk about small business every day, Dave Charest does it every day of his life professionally. He joins us from Constant Contact, the Director of Small Business Success. What a great title. That's what we aim for every day. You guys study, survey, sort of attitudes toward and important things about small business quite frequently. Tell us about the work that you do.
Yeah, so, at Constant Contact, we love every opportunity to celebrate small businesses. And we do these surveys a few times a year just to get a pulse on what's happening either with small business owners themselves or even just consumers. And recently, we wanted to find out really how the role that small businesses play to consumers. And when you consider there are over 33 million small businesses in the US alone, here we're talking from the contractor, right, fixes your roof, the local diner that you go to each week. These are all the businesses that really help make our local communities whole. And even though we found out that 89% of Americans actually end up transacting with a small business every week, the businesses themselves are often taken for granted, and we found that only 15% of the people that we spoke to actually realize how many small businesses that there really are in the U.S.
You mentioned millions. Of course, we've got tens of thousands here in Indiana as well, and you're absolutely right. Every time we talk about that, people seem to not even realize that the businesses that they enjoy so much, they presume must be much larger. Instead, they're just actually really successfully run small businesses. Let's talk about loyalty. You've broken this down in a few different ways. Thought it was interesting, some sort of nationality lines. Americans turn out to be fiercely loyal to and apparently very emotionally attached to the businesses that they use.
Well, you got to consider, right? We all have our favorites, right? And so there's when we get into our routines, so there's the places that we go, the places that we visit all the time. One of the interesting things that I think we found in the survey that actually didn't make the full study was this idea that what we're finding is that the younger generations are actually kind of leading a bit of a revival for small businesses in many ways. When you think that almost 50% of both Gen Z and millennials intentionally seek out small businesses versus if you think of just 35% of Gen X and 25% of boomers, right? And so the difference there, and I think this speaks a lot to this idea of loyalty, right? It's about authenticity for them. It's about alignment with values. It's about personalized experiences that they get and the local impact that they know that happens from interacting with those businesses. And so it's definitely an interesting spin and exciting to see, I think, because you might think that it's the opposite, right? In many ways.
Yeah, especially since that's a generation, both of them are generations raised with such easy access to online and then the big names that we all know. The fact that they're developing loyalty to small business is really interesting. I want your thought on this because as you talked, it occurred to me, this may be a lesson in the long-term value of branding. Because I know that the phrase is shop local, please support local. They've been around for a long, long time. Now they seem to be catching sort of like that momentum and the hope has turned into reality.
Yeah, I think the thing that we see with small businesses, and if you're an owner, you know this, right? There's always so many hats that you have to wear. And there's always going to be some type of challenge that you have to deal with, right? Whether it's inflation, it's consumer confidence, all this stuff with tariffs, all this stuff, right? Every year it's going to be something new. And what we see time and time again is small business owners are resilient and they have a stick-to-itiveness, right, if you will, right? Here's what the situation I'm in. I'm going to feel sorry for myself for a little bit. And then I'm going to figure out, what do I need to do? What do I need to dig my heels in to make this work? And I think what's encouraging here is that as you start to see these people seeking out, these younger generations seeking folks out, it's really all about staying connected, right? And this, at Constant Contact, we always look at everything through this marketing lens. And it's really about, I think, the opportunity here is, lean into those values that your business shares, right? Younger generations are really looking for and drawn to businesses that actually stand for something, right? And so I think there's an opportunity for folks to do that. I think it's also an opportunity to highlight the local impact that you have, right? How are you involved, right? All that money ends up staying in the local communities more as more people spend there. And so Gen Z is actually really noticing that and noticing that community involvement. And I think, the nice piece about this, and this is of course where, tools like Constant Contact come in, but I think it's, we're seeing small business owners, particularly those started in the last 5 years, to really start to leverage technology a lot more and diversify their marketing. And so it's about not just relying on social media, right, alone. I think that's a very easy entry point, but you need to really use those tools like email, for example, or text marketing that really allow those businesses to reach their customers directly and own that audience in many ways and continue to build those relationships. And I think to bring this kind of full circle, it's from the dawn of time, it's really about those relationships that help move us forward, right?
And in a way, don't be afraid that you're competing with titans. That may be the very selling point that you have.
Well, I think that's the great point, Scott, right? That it is the selling point, right? In many ways, lean into that. Particularly, we're seeing, the folks that they don't want to deal with, they don't want to feel like just a number. They don't want to deal with the 1% of businesses that are still out there, right? That are really kind of monopolizing everything in many ways, right? They want that connection, and they want that connection with their local community and the values that they value.
Well, any fan of small business is a friend of ours. Dave Charest, thanks for spending time with us today.
Thanks so much.
Coming up, Celebrating Her, a special all-star women's business event happening next weekend.
Your health is too important to take for granted. Join WISH-TV at the Indiana Health Fair July 17th through the 20th for nearly $4,000 in free health care, plus valuable education and resources to help you and your family lead healthier lives. Learn how you can prevent chronic conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and cancer. WISH-TV is focused on family and community and a proud partner of the Indiana Health Fair, July 17th through the 20th in the Indiana Convention Center.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back. It is time for the Weekend Business. Emil Ekior has big news about the 2025 Speed City All-Star Women's Business Leadership and AI Innovation Experience, coming up Saturday.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
So last year during the NBA All-Star Game, we learned that we have these great events that come into our city, but then they leave. But also, so many people that in the city don't get a chance to be a part of these events, right? So we had some events last year in partnership with WISH-TV, and we just saw the energy that we created, that even after the event, the NBA All-Star, that energy kept on through the year. So we made a promise to ourselves, our network of business owners, that every event that comes to the city going forward, we will try to activate something around our local small businesses to make sure that they are affirmed, they're celebrated, they get a chance to build their social capital and meet people. So we did something Combine, we did something the GEC, Global Entrepreneurship Congress. So here we are, the WNBA All-Star Game. So many people are going to be in Indy, but we've seen just this amazing energy around women business owners. Everywhere I go, our network of 300 businesses, 85% of them are women business owners, right? Doing amazing things. So we just wanted to create a platform to celebrate them, recognize them for the work they're doing, affirm them, let them know that we see them grinding and working hard, but also connect them to relationships that they normally wouldn't get a chance to meet. So that week, Saturday, here at the Elevate headquarters, downtown Indy, we'll have probably all together through that morning about 25 to 30 women business owners, service providers who are just doing amazing things. To celebrate them, we'll have brunch here, recognize them. Peggy, Executive Director of WISH-TV, is going to be one of our moderators. So we're just looking forward to it. And the key again is just energizing those business owners, right? So once this is over, they got to go back to work, right? So one of the things that we've seen since January this year has been the JP Morgan Chase Coaches for Impact program. And Shelly Vernon at JP Morgan Chase has just done an amazing, we've sent probably 25 women-owned businesses to her, and they all leave just thanking us, like just praising her work. And then we've had the chance to see the last 6 months how they've taken the coaching and applied it to their business. So when you have a giant corporation like Chase, dedicating a single employee, a single person, and say, you know, all we want you to do is work with these business owners. And Shelly has just done an amazing job of just engaging them, being totally honest with them too, right? She's been a tough coach, but the productivity that we're seeing in those women-owned businesses, we just want to also recognize that work and encourage everybody else, right? That we really have a great opportunity to just continue this energy around business, right? Especially with our minority groups, right? There's so much opportunity in our city, and we want them connected to that opportunity. And we know this, business owners, entrepreneurs, all they need is just to know that there's an opportunity available for them, and then show them the way. Then you just got to get out the way and let them do their thing. So we're excited about just celebrating that, showcasing all of these activities in our city. But we also have so many friends coming in from out of town that we're inviting to these events to come engage our business owners and rub elbows with them. So we're looking forward to that. Like, I've been in Indy for 20 years or so, and I've seen so many events come and go. And I've also seen, like, man, the events come, everybody's downtown. We might go to a party here. If you can get into the game, you go to the game. But then you go back to work on Monday and really not uplifted, right? So many people do so much work. We have so many organizations in our city that are doing training, the Black Chamber, Martindale Brightwood, P30, Cafe, you know, all of these organizations are just head in the sand doing work. So events like this is like, hey, get your head out of the sand, come on out, let's celebrate you. And most of them don't want to be celebrated, right? Business Equity for Indy and what Christina is doing, the Indy Chamber. So we have so many assets. Sometimes if you let the narrative continue, it's like nothing is happening. But there's so much activity. I think our biggest challenge, how do we connect all of these activities so it helps the business owner? Like, we can't forget, like, that is the customer, right? So even with what WISH-TV has done, the platform for business owners on a Sunday morning, I have so many business owners that record that show. You know, they can't leave church, so they record the show. But they all are looking for, like, we have business owners that feel like, man, I've arrived because I've been on that show. So those things didn't happen before, and we kind of take it for granted that all of these things have been around. So the more we try to recognize and make sure those things never go away. And that's what we think we have the opportunity to do when we have events like this in town.
You'll find more information about the event on our website. Follow the QR code that's on your screen. Up next, personal branding. How you showcase your business may have a lot to do with success.
This Week in Business is made possible by Indy Biz Pass. The stars are aligning in Circle City. That's why WISH-TV is giving you an inside look at the WNBA All-Star Game.
Yeah, it's certainly really cool, and we're obviously really excited to have All-Star.
And the WISH-TV sports team is getting you ready for all the action. The biggest names, the brightest stars. They're all right here in Indy. Don't miss All Access Indy All-Star Game, Friday at 6:30 on WISH-TV.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again. Many successful business owners have found that how they brand their efforts to guide customers to remember them is crucial for success. Business broker Jamar Cobdenard shares some insights on what you need to consider.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
My name is Jamar Cobb-Denard. I'm an attorney and business broker, and we're at the Indiana CPA Society. So the first thing that I want to discuss is personal branding and how to become an overnight expert. One of the challenges that many people have is, how do I become recognized in the community in a way that helps with business development for my small business? There are a few things to do. Number one is to tell personal stories. And some of these personal stories can be on or published on LinkedIn, news programs like this, newsletters for clients, also writing some articles in newspapers, podcasting. There's a lot of different mediums that people can go out to talk about their own story. And typically 20% of that story is personal and 80% of that story is about business. So in business, consider telling other customer stories or the primary benefit of using a service that your business provides. Then the other 20% are successes that may be personal. For example, when I was 27, and this was forever ago, I rode a bicycle from Los Angeles to Boston, and I learned a lot of personal development tips and lessons along that trip. So I told that story over and over, and it really brought people's attention, not only to me, but also my career and my stature and brand as a professional. One of the other things to do is to consider horizontal networking. With horizontal networking, that's essentially not necessarily networking within the industry or networking specifically with other professionals who serve the same demographic or target market that you do, but considering serving the community, getting on boards, mentoring other people, ways that individuals can essentially spread their story, spread their expertise, spread their knowledge, and help others in the process can also bring a lot of boost to somebody's personal brand. There's a few things that allows personal branding to support somebody's career. One piece is to become known, and that's not for celebrity's sake or somebody's ego, but really it's about the community understanding someone's expertise and how they can help others through what they do from their professional career or the business that they own. Another piece with personal branding and why someone would want to have a stronger personal brand is leadership opportunities. So many of the leadership opportunities that I've been able to participate in, whether it's the Stanley K. Lacey Executive Leadership Series or being nominated 40 Under 40 in the Indianapolis Business Journal, it wasn't because of what I did as a professional, but it was because of what I did outside of work that built my professional brand and helped me to be painted in a light as a leader. Finally, one of the reasons why people would want to have a strong personal brand is to be able to have a positive reputation in the community. That goes back to business development and being able to bring more business into a CPA firm or even a cupcake shop, or it may be somebody's law firm, right? But that positive reputation in the community will help others see that business and that business owner in a positive light, and people will want to do business with that person instead of having to go out and scramble for more business.
Indiana Black Expo summer celebration events are already underway. President Alice Watson joins us with details next.
Next up, Noblesville, Thursday, July 17th. From 3 to 6:30, we are broadcasting live from the Hamilton County Fairgrounds. There's something for everyone, from fresh flowers and folk dancing to tough tractors and kids crafts. Sample some fabulous food and enjoy the awesome animal exhibits. Round up the whole family and head on out to the Hamilton County 4-H Fair. Wish you were here. Noblesville. Brought to you by Godby Home Furnishings.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again. Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration is one of the largest cultural events in the country. This year, in partnership with Pacers Sports Entertainment's All-Stars, organizers say it's bigger and better. IBE President Alice Watson has some details.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Running your business day to day.
Summer Celebration kicked off last Thursday with our actually our sponsor reception, and then we had our ecumenical service, which was on Friday. And now we're leaning into the busiest part of the week, which will be our mayor's breakfast, which kicks off on Monday. So really excited. Of course, the mayor will be our keynote speaker, if you will. We'll be honoring our top performing business out of our cohort this year. And we've got 31 businesses that went through our cohort. One of them will win the $5,000 prize presented by Key Bank. So Monday's a big kickoff for us. We have our workshops. We've got some great workshops. The city has, of course, is thriving with opportunities with the buildings that are happening downtown as we go into the week. So we have our business conference and then our youth entrepreneur series, which are kids who want to be entrepreneurs. They start on Tuesday. And we had some phenomenal kids last year, and we anticipate that we'll have that this year. So really, really excited about the week. And of course, sharing the week with the WNBA All-Star. We will have our education conference on Thursday, and I believe they have their soft opening also on Thursday. So Thursday is going to be crazy. Hopefully I can get to some of those events also, but we are doing an opening reception because we have expanded our cultural arts pavilion. So we will have Alfre Woodard, who will come through and speak to our guests at the cultural arts opening reception. It's a ribbon cutting. And of course the senior event at the Indiana State Fair. So big weekend. We have so many entertainers coming through over the weekend. Of course, again, we honored those at the corporate luncheon. We will be honoring Denise Williams, who is Gary, Indiana's own. So we expect to see the Gary folks come out to applaud Denise for her long-standing career in the arts. Alfre Woodard will be also receiving an award. So many, I mean, I can't even name those folks who are coming through for the corporate luncheon. And then our weekend, we've added some new components. We're partnering with Alan Houston of the New York Knicks. He will be doing a father and daughters clinic over the weekend inside the exhibit hall. So that's new. We've got what we call a health and wellness sports pavilion. We've got a couple of the community basketball groups who will be doing their tournament. But we'll also be doing things, and it's all about activities, because we, you know, if you want to get testing, you've got the Indiana Health Fair. Lots of activation inside of the Indiana Health Fair. This is more geared towards activities for youth and families. We have boxing inside the sports pavilion. And then we have our arts, of course, always our arts. We'll be doing a sneaker bar. Paint your own sneakers will be inside our Art Speaks Cafe. We have our style zone, in which we have Clara Summers, who's kind of what you call an influencer, who she travels the carpets of Met Gala and some of the other great things. We got a fun designer group that's coming out of LA. They're called the Bruce Glenn brothers, and they're twins. And it's so cool. Everything that they make is colorful. I mean, so really, I hope to get something of theirs to wear during the weekend. So it's just going to be an incredible weekend. Of course, we have 12 chapter cities that are kind of an offshoot of what we do. We have one actually in Indianapolis, the Indianapolis chapter, but we have a Gary chapter, we have an Elkhart chapter, a Muncie chapter, a Lafayette chapter, so Kokomo chapter. So we've got a lot of cities who pour into the weekend. They bring their youth also to celebrate with us, but very similar programming, which we believe is very meaningful, because we can't necessarily touch it all, but our chapter cities do, and they align with the initiatives that we have. We just expanded last year our Black Business Training Institute into the Michiana area and the Fort Wayne area, where our chapters reside. So really, they help us to elevate what we do from a statewide perspective. So really excited about the future of Indiana Black Expo. I think this year is really just showcasing who we are to the world, right? Because you've got all eyes watching because of WNBA. So it gives us an opportunity, not only as Indiana Black Expo, but as a city, to show that one, we do things collaboratively. You know, I mean, this is really, when you think about what's happening inside the convention center, you've got the WNBA All-Stars, which is the Pacer Sports and Entertainment, they're hosting that. You've got us inside the convention center. There's a jury conference inside the convention center, and we're all going to be there, and we're going to be showcasing, again, what we do here in Indianapolis. You know, what's so great about this WNBA is it lands right on our event. So there were a lot of activations that really didn't have to happen because we do them already. And just to be able to show that, you know, we are very diverse in what we do. We open our doors to everyone. The Fan Fest will be in town. There will be outdoor activations. But when you come inside, you'll be able to come inside and you'll see Black excellence. And again, and I think that's what I'm really excited about, specifically for our businesses, right? I mean, we'll be showcasing not only our Black Business Training Institutes, but business who come in from across the country inside the exhibition halls. So being able to showcase that, being able to expose the other side of the world to our youth. We have over 256 kids that we provide conflict resolution and financial literacy and pathways, access to pathways and career pathways. And for those kids to see not only WNBA stars, women, right? And so, I mean, this will be the weekend of women, but to really see entertainers and celebrities and news folks to come through, how great for them. So I'm just really excited about what our community will be exposed to and what we will be exposing to the world.
Coming up, an inside look at Ball State's award-winning SportsLink.
Running your business day to day is made possible by Long John Silver's.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. The Broadcast Education Association ranks Ball State University's sports media production curriculum, better known as SportsLink, as #1 in the nation. SportsLink graduates frequently find careers with major sports production companies, so we visited with Chris Taylor in the SportsLink studio.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
My name is Chris Taylor. I'm the Senior Director of Sports Production at Ball State University, and we are in the Ball State SportsLink studios on our campus. I think SportsLink ties into the overall program because it's immersive learning at its finest, which has always been a hallmark of Ball State University. So our students in SportsLink get hands-on, real-world experience doing sports productions, live events for ESPN, documentaries, feature storytelling, studio shows, radio shows. We are completely immersive in who we are and what we do. Yeah, well, we've seen, in my time anyway, in SportsLink and doing Ball State sports, is that students leaving our program are sometimes hired before they graduate. Let's be honest. Some of those students leave our program and they go straight to the networks like ESPN or TNT, Fox, CBS, so on and so forth. Everyone usually has a job. You know, if they wish to pursue a sports job, they're going to find one because it's 4 years of a portfolio over the course of their time here. The networking opportunities that come through who we are and what we do. We are a production partner with ESPN, so we have some of their staff regularly, come to campus. And that's a magical moment when students can connect with someone out there. External validation is always good. So I may be on a subject, teaching storytelling in SportsLink for several weeks. And then ESPN person or professional will come in and we'll hit on storytelling, and it's kind of like everyone like turns and looks at me like, oh wow, you knew what you were talking about. So that's a magical moment when those things happen. And it's great for us as a program to have those partners professionally, because again, that's external validation and that's networking. And you meet someone and you meet someone and you meet someone, and you never know where that person will show back up, either to help you get an internship, to hire you, to refer you to another job. And now, 15 years into this program, our network is pretty big. This year in 2024, the year past, our students won 39 different awards, including a professional Emmy. And that's crazy when you think about it. But that's, if you look through the history, that was a good year for us, but we've had good years before. So what that does is it inspires the new students coming in when they are able to see the trophies and see things around there. It incredibly inspires students when they know that someone like them are the reasons or the people who won those awards. And so there is a little, I want to win one of those. I got to do that too. I got to contribute to get one of those trophies in the case. And that's inspiring and builds confidence. And so we're proud of that. We're proud of the recognition. The external validation, again, is always good. Shows that we're doing things right, but we can always keep learning and doing more. Absolutely, we want people to stay in Indiana too. We want our students to stay here. And there's great sports and great media opportunities in the state of Indiana. Both professionally at the college level, at TV and radio and networks across our state. So that's important to us. That's important to us as an institution at Ball State, that we attract Indiana kids and we keep Indiana folks in our state. It's ironic that you mentioned that, because I'm fortunate enough to serve on an academic committee for the Indy Sports Corp. And I don't know if you've looked at what their 2050 vision is for the state of Indiana and how they want to promote sports, but one of their pillars in the ISC is to make Indiana the global epicenter of sports, including sports education. And when you look at all the conferences and the governing bodies, the Olympic teams and trials and national sports and things that come to our state and to Indy in particular, I'm fortunate to kind of hopefully play a role in that and network our students and show them that you can do all these things right here in Indiana too. It's crazy because I've always wanted to do something like this. I had my hand in on-air work, when I was in college and even after college for a while. I've always been the producer or the storyteller. That's just who I am. I'm passionate about storytelling. I'm passionate about finding layers and peeling back layers in someone's life. And I think we do a really good job of that here. And I think that sets us apart, whether they do go to a network or to a local station or even in a marketing department or someplace, a college athletics department. We're all trying to market or sell something at the end of the day. And to me, that happens again by being consistent and doing quality work and telling good stories. That's a good question, because I've hit the point where it's kind of like, what is next? But I'm totally content with what this is and continuing to build it, because I don't think that, that we've reached what we could do. I'm extremely honored and fortunate that we have moved to #1. This is the #1 sports media program in the United States. That was a big goal for me, and we're there now. But I don't want to go back. I want to keep that spot. And so that motivates our students and motivates me to, let's see how long we can hold on to it. And I think we have a good chance at doing that, because again, consistency over the years of who we are and what we do, and the students who we've nurtured, who come back and give back to us, not just the professionals at other networks or other stations. We're at the point where we have a good number, over 100 plus of our own alumni in the industry who are coming back to give. And that's extremely rewarding too. So there are moments where I have to just kind of step back and be like, yeah, you are making a difference, even though when you're in the forest every day, you don't see it. And so I'm content. I'm comfortable with what we're doing, but I want to continue to push. This fall, we're doing one of our most ambitious projects ever in my time here. We are going to do a 12-week docu-series with our football team, which means we're producing an episode every week for 12 weeks, or 13 or 14 if we were to go longer. We've never done something like that before, so that's exciting. That's continuing to push the bar. I have a sophomore who's going to be producing that series. And so it's just going to be fun, and those are the things that still bring joy to me.
Next, find out how fathers and families are helping people in Indiana gain valuable job skills and certifications while increasing the talent pool of skilled workers in the state.
£43,000 of pasta and over 137,000 meals raised for those in need. WISH-TV thanks you for making this year's Great Pasta Push the best one yet. Presented by Hankey Marks & Kreider, Ed Martin Automotive Group, Kroger, and WISH-TV.
Welcome again. The Fathers and Families Center is dedicated to helping build healthy families and thriving communities. Larry Smith is the president and CEO. He explains in our success story how the center makes it happen.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
My name is Larry Smith. I'm president and CEO of Fathers and Families Center. We're 32 years old, and in that period, we've served about 25,000 men. Our mission is to equip fathers and empower families so that children thrive. Absolutely. In fact, I often have to remind people it's fathers and families. And even if you look at our mission statement, ultimately we're trying to affect the lives of children. Frederick Douglass said that it's easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men. And so that's what we're trying to do. So after men graduate from our Strong Fathers program, there are three options. One is to apply for a job with our employer partners. We have about 25 employer partners, and this runs the gamut from large sort of Fortune 500 corporations all the way to a mom and pop landscaping business. And so during the training, we emphasize to them the importance of punctuality, of being trustworthy, of working diligently. And so a second option is to go through what we call certification training. So all the skilled trades, forklift driving, CDL. We open a new construction training center at Eastern Star Church. And so when the men graduate from that program, they are NCCER and OSHA 10 certified, so they are ready to work. We also do case management, so we follow up with the employee, but also with the employer to make sure that expectations are met on both sides. Yeah, it's crucial. So we know both experientially and empirically that when a father is involved in the life of his children, even if he's outside the home, so I want to be very clear about that, if he's involved in the life of his children, they get better grades, they have higher self-esteem, they're less likely to be involved in drugs, less likely to be involved in gang activity. So it's crucially important. And that's not to say that we don't need to reduce the percentage of out-of-wedlock births, especially in African-American households. That is absolutely important. But I do want to emphasize the CDC, this is not us, the CD says that African-American fathers are the most involved fathers in the lives of their children. So we want to do all that we can to encourage that. Yeah, I think this is such a multifaceted challenge. I will say, in my view, it begins in the home. And again, even if the father's not present in the home, if he's present in the lives of the children, that is just crucial. So it begins there. Secondly, even when parents are involved, sometimes they do things that I would not suggest that they do. You let your kids stay out 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Not a good idea, irrespective of where. It doesn't just have to be on the east side or downtown Indianapolis. Fortunately, we do have so many community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, parents who are involved, but it's that small percentage of children who don't have guidance from some loving adult in his or her life. That for me is really the problem. And so we certainly at Fathers and Families Center work with our dads to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, but then they also go back to the community and have an influence on the men around them so they understand that they are not alone. These children, especially those who don't have that loving and strong adult, really need our help. The average income of the men we serve is about $11,000 annually, and so we don't charge them anything at all to come to our program. In fact, we pay them a stipend of $100 a week just to sit in the class, and then when they graduate, we'll help them go on from there. Then if they go through, let's say, the construction training class, we also pay them a stipend to go through the class because these men really need the money right now. We look at it as an investment. It costs about $2,200, $2,300 just to go through Strong Fathers class, but then after that, depending on the training they go through, it could cost as much as $6,000 per man. Yeah, the commitment is crucial because, again, we're preparing them for life after they leave here. We have one cohort per month, so 12 cohorts in a year. In any given cohort, 40 to 70% of the men are formerly incarcerated. But our recidivism rate is about 6.7%. You compare that to Marion County, it's 38%. State of Indiana, it's 40 to 45%, depending on whose numbers you believe. And so we are preparing these men to go back into the community, back into their homes, back into the workforce, and be productive members of society. We would love, in a couple of ways, at least two ways. One, jobs. We want to ensure, again, that all these men have a job or career with a family-sustaining wage. We call it ABC, a job, a better job, a career. And of course, also, we're very interested in donations to our organization. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, 100% tax deductible, so we really would like to partner with more businesses. For me, it's seeing the life transformation of these gentlemen. So I can say that I was a father at 16. My parents were divorced when I was very, very young. I grew up on the east side of Indianapolis, 34th and Emerson. So I understand every day when I wake up, my life could look very different than it does now. And so I remember that. I think about that as these men come through our door, and to see in just 3 short weeks where they were when they came and where they are when they graduate from Strong Fathers and then going to some other programs that we have. That transformation is remarkable, and it never, ever gets old.
Larry will be a guest on Rock in the City coming up Saturday at noon on our sister station, Miami TV 23. Join us next week when we look into patents, learn about National Hire a Veteran Day, meet the women behind star-studded nails, find out how Hard Truth Distillery got started, and we visit a certified Bob Ross paint studio. That and more to empower you and inspire you. Our show airs every Sunday over the air at WISH-TV, online at WISH-TV.com, always free. We also post all of our segments on our website, and check out our extended conversations on the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast, new every week. Thank you for spending this hour with us. Join us next week for more Business Equity and Opportunities. Until then, I'm Scott Sander. Have a great day.
Business Equity and Opportunities is made possible by Bose McKinney & Evans, Eskenazi Health, Indy Biz Pass, Fifth Third Bank, Long John Silver's, and Lilly, a medicine company.